In the mist-shrouded Summerset Isles, home of the Altmer, two heroes of the Altmeri Dominion notice a disturbance in the distance. As they race towards the site of the Daedric incursion, they'll have to deal with Nightrunner bandits and deadly wildlife first, in this battle report for the Elder Scrolls Call to Arms. Welcome back to the table. My name is Corwin, and today we're going to be playing some more Elder Scrolls Call to Arms. Today we're going to be delving into the dark. If you don't know about this expansion, it's a generator for dungeons and wilderness adventures. Today we're going to be generating the specifics of our adventure. I already have a theme in mind, and I built a list at an appropriate point size. The first thing I need to do is generate a number of levels or chambers. 1. Alright, so we're only doing one level, one chamber. Next thing we need to know is we need to know the size of the chamber. Into the Dark is played on 1-foot tiles. 2. Next thing you do is you roll for the amount of terrain that's going to be on each tile. We've generated 5 points for the first tile and the second tile. So, nice and easy. The final thing I need to do, since I'm not generating a configuration, is roll for the special rules. I already know I'm going to be using the Wilderness rather than the Draugr table, but let's see what we generate here. That's going to be a bandit stash. Alright, so there'll be some extra treasure for my characters to grab on their way through. That makes sense. I'll add some bandits to the list. I actually need to roll both a chamber objective and an ultimate quest, so I'll do that here. That's going to be the Man-Eater. Alright. Perfect, actually. Ooh. This Griffin, which I had already decided is going to be my ultimate guardian, is now going to get an extra yellow. Incidentally, if you want to see the stat cards that I'm playing with my homebrew monsters, my dire wolves and griffins, I'll link them in the description below. So for my oaths, I'm going to take Righteous Fury, so I'm going to destroy at least 400 septums worth of enemies. That's a tough order, but I think my heroes can do it. Coming in at about 97 septums each, they're pretty powerful. Let's see if our Sorceress and Proxy Razum-dar can reach the end in time. They have 8 turns to get across the map. And speaking of the map, let's take a look. I've decided that this area of path here on my playmat is going to represent a river, as I don't have an appropriate piece of terrain for that yet. This section here will be an area of difficult terrain, and this area will be counted as a forested area. All the rest of this little tiny bandit camp area, and these various rocks and pillars are going to count as height 2 cover. Except for this wagon, maybe. Because this is a bandit stash, I'm placing a master treasure chest here with all this other loot that they've collected. They got something really good. I'm going to set up these other treasure chests in the treasure zone and kind of the periphery. It's a little crowded. Sorceress and Raz are going to deploy over there. They're going to have to get across the river through this difficult patch and into the treasure zone. Now, I need to deploy some monsters. Because this is a one-chamber delve, I believe this also is the final chamber and the ultimate guardian for my dungeon comes on. That's going to be this Griffin, who start up here on his little rocky perch. Immediately dive bombs into the treasure pile. With the board set and looking a little bit crowded, to be honest, I'm a little more worried than I was a minute ago. I'm going to see you back in round 1 as we get this underway. Razum-dar is going to activate first. This version of Raz uses a little bit of magic, so the first thing he's going to attempt is to cast Oak Flesh on himself. There we go, he succeeds handily. Raz adds a yellow to his armor. He's then going to spend the rest of his turn moving up. Now, as this is the Khajiit Twin Blade, and I've ended my action within 6 inches of an enemy, I get to take an archery skill test and resolve 2 yellow damage against that die if I succeed on a 3. Here we go. Doesn't do a darn thing. I don't think that breaks his hidden, though, as that isn't an action. New meta. Throwing knives from the shadows.
We must move like Khenarthi herself is at our backs.
I did complete my action. So first thing I should do is take a sneak test, looking for agility of 3. Nope. So Raz's hidden token is removed. I did end within 6 inches, so I can throw that dagger. fat lot of good it did, but because of that, I provoked a reaction from this dire wolf here. As he splashes out into the river, a dire wolf is going to charge across. If they dash, because of their fleet ability, a dire wolf has enough movement to cross through the rocky terrain and the water. 7 minus 3 will hit. Razum-dar doesn't block this with his oak flesh and his basic armor. He's in trouble. But he's more than adroit as he hops back out of the water. Now it is the adversary's first action. Wolf number 4. However, even totaling up all of his movement, 2.5, maybe let's call it 3 inches here, 3 inches to get across this, and then another 3 inches into the river gets him there. Not quite close enough, but that's all he can do. Well, since he has so graciously presented himself as a target, I think the sorceress is going to fling a lightning bolt. Well, that was far more exciting than it needed to be. So, she's going to attempt to conjure her familiar. That's a 3. That'll succeed. And that's going to do it for her turn. The familiar is going to break the sequence of play and act immediately. With my free activation, the familiar is going to cross the river here and pile in, flanking the direwolf to help Razum-dar out. The familiar is going to spend its 1 stamina point to boost. And it actually manages to hit. Holy crap. Look at this little doggo go.
Good dog.
That ends my familiar's turn. It is now back over to the adversaries.
The remaining wolves close in, but due to the difficult terrain in the middle of the map, they can't quite reach the vulnerable familiar.
And that'll do it for turn 1. More eventful than I expected, to be honest, especially after Raz's turn. I wasn't expecting to kill anything, but these wolves made themselves a fairly easy target, and, well, the sorceress is a deft hand with her magic. The turn 1 event is, what was that? So Wolf 4 is back for vengeance. I think they're going to sneak on right between those two. We'll see who it's closest to in a minute. You thought you escaped the pack. The pack was flanking you the whole time. Things have cleared out a little bit with the very swift direwolves moving up, with my heavy hitters, my bandits, and my Griffin all waiting in the wings. There's no way we're getting out of this without fighting that Griffin, so we'll see what happens. Now this is funny. I don't think the familiar, let's see what happens. The familiar is trying to pass an agility test to see if it found a rare gift. Nope, it did not. If the familiar finds the rare gift, do I have to keep that familiar summoned for the entire game as it holds the necklace in its mouth? And that would be an objective. I'll see you in round 2. At the beginning of turn 2, advantage is going to shift over to the adversaries as my characters are still trapped up here in this corner, surrounded by a pack of wolves. Let's see who activates first. It's the wolf that just spawned. As they roll the move action, they're going to attack Razum-dar. This is a wolf bite, boosting into Razum-dar. Will not hit, only just. And that's a good thing too, because that would have been 3 damage and a bleed. With that wolf activated, the sorceress is going to move up. In fact, she's going to spend a point of stamina to dash 1.5 inches into the river. That will provoke reactions from both of these adversaries. So I'm going to give her a little bit of a chance to recover her magicka, and she's just going to ready a sword attack this turn. She's going to use that almost immediately as the regular wolf is going to move up and attack with a boost. 5 just misses. For the sorceress's readied action, no boosts are available, so it's just green-red into the wolf. A 4-3 will hit, and the helm is going to add a yellow. 2 damage against the wolf's defense of yellow.
Why the audacity?
Oh, okay. Saw that potion bottle and freaked out for a second. That's going to be a critical miss as the sorceress was prepared for this, defending herself. That's going to leave her in combat with a direwolf, but with her allies still yet to go. And she's had a chance to recover a little bit of magicka, or she will at the end of the turn. Now, over to the adversaries.
Rolling an objective move, the bandit marauder advances towards the hero closest to a treasure chest. taking a block token when the difficult terrain stops his charge short.
The sorceress is going to pay a point of magicka to activate the familiar. He's going to go over here and see if he can't clear this wolf off of Raz. Oh, and that's a critical hit. Okay. I don't think this wolf can survive. So, the wolf goes down, but that's all the familiar can really do, is move and attack.
The other bandit charges forward and takes a block token, stopping just shy of the difficult terrain.
I almost brought Lightning Rune in this list, but opted not to at the last minute, and now I kind of wish I had. Now, finally, Raz. Well, I do need to kill some stuff, but also looting. Looting is important, right? I have a whole pile of treasure cards here, and I would like to see some of them. Raz is going to move 4 inches to get across the river, then sprint for another 3. That'll get him in contact with that treasure token, and end him within 6 inches of several of these creatures. Raz's second action is going to be to search to see what's in the treasure chest. Flipping over treasure token number 1, it is locked. Alright, so... that's not even close. He got an 8. Seeing his friend still embattled in the river, he's more concerned with that. He takes a quick look at the lock, says, "This one will deal with you later," and is going to turn and throw a knife. We'll target the dire wolf. Ooh, what the... Okay, Raz. I don't think the wolf can survive that. It's a 4 damage crit.
We must act. Boring, yes?
As we get near the end of turn 2 here, I have scored 5 victory points from eliminating enemies, and I suspect now I might have trouble killing 400 septums worth of enemies. I forgot that this was only a single chamber delve when I took that oath. Normally, if you have multiple chambers and into the dark, it's a lot easier to get that particular oath. So I might fail that one, which will cost me a victory point at the end. So I'll just have to keep that in mind. However, at the moment, I have scored 5, so I'm going to promote the sorceress, of course. 6 points of magicka and casting on a 6. This is why I love the sorceress. She's probably one of my favorite characters in this whole game. I still haven't taken out any enemies with a melee attack to search for my quest, so no progress there. But let's check our event for turn 2. Castellans of Evil. Ooh. And 1 direwolf is going to spawn over here. And with that done, we'll move on to the beginning of turn 3. I'll see you there. At the beginning of turn 3, advantage comes back over to me. So, I think it's time to do some zapping. The sorceress is going to just take one look at those block tokens and go, I don't think so. Seeing that the bandit marauder only has a 2-handed block, she's going to turn and throw a lightning bolt at him. Point blank range. Oh no! She choked it. Well, that's a problem. Her second action then is just going to be to move up through difficult terrain. That's bad. Ooh, that's kind of a problem actually. All 3 of the adversaries immediately are going to react. The marauder is just going to drop its block token and make an attack. Looking for a 4. Oh no, that's a 6 add green. No, oh, betrayed. Alright, that's going to be a chunky hit, as he's going to slice in for 4 damage.
Time to die, hero!
Oh, just a scratch.
She blocks 1. Oh, she takes 3 wounds. The good thing I promoted her, she is down to 1 wound. Oof, in a single blow. This might be a problem, guys. Dropping their block token, the bandit warrior is also going to run into the fray. What is with these hits? Oh no! That's going to be a hit for 2 damage if I don't roll 2 pips on these 2 yellow dice. She's in trouble.
Just stand still!
Not so fast.
Damn you!
Things are getting hairy here, guys. Things are getting tough. Oh boy. And this one, thankfully, is going to attack Razum-dar. Oh no, you're kidding me. You're kidding me with this turn. Thankfully, past me didn't give these direwolves the ability to crit, but that's still a 4 damage hit against Raz's measly yellow armor and oak flesh spell. Let's see. Oh. He actually tanks it with a quick flare of parrying magic. This cat actually absorbs the blow from the direwolf. Ooh, holy cow, things have taken a turn for the worse. For the first time in the game, the Griffin is going to activate. They're going to fly over and attempt to land behind Raz.
This is fine. We could use the exercise.
Raz has to make a morale check or flee in terror. This is a morale check looking for a 6, which is exactly what he gets. Awesome. He stays put. Less awesome, the Griffin is going to attack him. I have prepared a smaller Griffin model. Technically, I think there's also a gang-up bonus, so Raz is in trouble. Ooh, so if his 3 damage goes through, Raz is done. Let's see if that armor spell holds up. Holy crap. He might do it. The fur armor and oak flesh combo comes through again. This is one lucky cat. I'll say that.
It is a good thing Raz is so quick on his feet.
Well, that was a disaster of a turn. I'm going to go ahead and say I think I misplayed that one. An activation comes back over to me. Since the familiar can make it across the river, let's try to bring the familiar over. Best boy. Is the best boy. Holy crap. Okay. That's 3 damage and a bleed.
No!
Last but hopefully not least, Razum-dar is going to take his turn. I think he's got to try to turn and deal with this Griffin. Boosting for might. Here we go. The Oblivion symbol unfortunately does nothing, so that is only 3 damage versus the Griffin save of 1. Oh, okay. Things just got more interesting. The Griffin takes 2. Now, the second attack with the offhand weapon. And a boost for precision on this one? Fingers crossed. You know what? A 6 minus 6 will hit for 2 damage. Saving on a red. Another point of damage squeaks through. Alright, shout out to Razum-dar. As Raz lands a second blow with his offhand dagger, slicing back as his Griffin claws at him. That's really all he can do, I think. Can't hide, can't block, can't sneak. I almost forgot. Of course there's a second thing that Raz can do on his turn. He can search the treasure chest he's still, sort of, in contact with. But a 4 won't do it. Oh well. That does mean he ends his turn within 6 inches of an enemy model. There's nothing in the wording of this ability that says it doesn't work in melee, so after striking the blow against the Griffin with the dagger, he's going to turn and throw it at the direwolf. That's not the second crit that he's done with those? I think it is. He's going to recover a point of magicka with that. And deal 2 damage. Now the doggo. Alright, with that 1, the direwolf is removed. I hope I'm getting that right. It just specifies end the activation within 6 inches. Yeah, shank.
That was not so hard.
Since there are no adversaries left to activate, that brings us to the end of the turn here. Event phase for turn 3. Divine Inspiration. 2 adversaries are going to spawn. A wolf and a Nord Ranger. Who do I want to give this reroll to? Let's give it to Raz, as he is engaged with the Griffin, who I forgot should be getting an extra yellow. Let's see, I'm going to roll its armor here and see for the sword. Okay, didn't change it. And for the dagger, it would have blocked extra damage. I forgot that this is the Man-Eater, so it gets an extra yellow on its attacks and armor. I can't remember what I rolled for Raz, and I'm not going to check now. We'll just say that he got lucky on that one. But going forward, it will be adding an extra yellow to both attack and defense. Okay, with that in mind, I'm definitely going to give Raz the Divine Inspiration here. So, I'll see you in turn 4. That last turn was a bit rough, but things can only get better, right? There's no way that a Griffin is going to eat my favorite cat. But no. So, unfortunately, the adversaries do have priority, but at least there are now 4 of them to activate, so let's see who goes. It's the Griffin. Of course it's the Griffin. The one that I didn't want to activate. Okay. You're gonna roll a 9 for me, right? No, it's not gonna. That is 3 damage with piercing 1. Raz is going to block 2 of it, and will take 2 damage.
Nobody can injure Razum-dar. He's invincible.
Okay. Raz on 1 hit point, Sorceress on 1 hit point. Things are going well. Let's just do this the simple way. The Sorceress is going to activate. She's going to take a swing with her sword and critically hit. She's going to critically hit, dealing 4 damage, taking that bandit out in a single blow. Her second action, she's got to spend some mana to heal herself. She casts the spell, no problem, and she's going to regain 3 health. I really need to get moving. I need to get to that bandit stash if I want to complete my objective. The wolf is going to take an aggressive move. All been aggressive moves. Through the forest and engage Razum-dar. It can get there because of his fleet keyword, and it's going to attack him. Suddenly this wolf is very deadly. But not quite deadly enough. I needed a 4.
The familiar moves in to support Razum-dar, but is unable to land a hit.
They've at least evened the odds for Razum-dar.
The bandit archer hides and then moves towards the closest objective.
Back over to me. It's just Razum-dar. Alright. He has really got to try to take this Griffin out, or it's going to go poorly for him. We're going to go all in on this one. We're going to boost for precision and damage, because we need to end this if we can. We're definitely going to trigger the Dragonborn symbol to get the piercing damage here. I do also add a green die, but doesn't matter. So, 3 damage with piercing 2. I'm going to use my Divine Inspiration to re-roll this red dice. That's a little bit better. 4 points pierce 2 versus 4 straight up. 2 of that damage does get through as I pierce its defense. So it has 1 wound remaining, which is not what I was looking to see, but that was a good armor roll. Retroactive morale test for the familiar. Okay, the familiar is fine. Once you're in melee, the terrifying keyword is less critical. Getting there can be a bit rough. Yeah. What other detail? I'm taking the agility test on the sorceress who finally killed something with a melee weapon. Is agility 4? No, she hasn't found the thing. Okay. I believe that brings us to the end of the turn. We do a little bit of regenerating, and we draw an event. Well, okay. The Lure of Hermaeus Mora. Definitely going to trigger this on my mage, for obvious reasons. I should actually have been reducing the spawn numbers of my adversaries. Since they didn't do anything too crazy this turn, I'm going to keep it as it is and say that now the Bandit Archer spawns. That'll do it for turn 4, bringing us into the start of turn 5. Advantage has come back over to me, and I'm going to immediately use it to activate Razum-dar and try to take out this damn bird. No bonus from Outnumber, but I am going to spend my final point of stamina to boost. That's going to hit 4 damage with piercing 2. Think this might do it. Think we've got it. Yeah, we pierce those 2. And with a mighty blow of the Elven Blade, Raz takes the Griffin out.
This one is a simple Khajiit. He resolves issues as they come up.
The nearby wolf reacts, biting Raz, but can't get through his armor.
The only other adversary on the board is going to activate. They've rolled to fall back. They're already on an objective at the back of the board, as hidden as they can be. I'm just going to wrap them around a little bit. Get them in cover, sort of behind the objective. And they're going to keep their hidden token. That's the best I can do for them. I think the sorceress is going to walk on over through the mud. She'll get out of it, we'll say. And take a swing with her sword. Razum-dar is going to take one last crack at this chest. Hey, he finally cracks the lock and draws not one, but 2 treasure cards. He pulls a Bow of the Hunt and an Amulet of Julianos. Interesting. He might take his free swap action to put away his swords and pull out that bow. Sneakily, because I happen to be within 2 inches here, I get to swap items and pass this amulet over to the mage. Now her spells will be cheaper, specifically her lightning bolt will cost only 1 instead of 2. That's a huge upgrade, actually. Listen, he was just distracted by the fighting. It's not that he's bad at lockpicking. Raz was just prioritizing other things. He's going to move into cover in these woods here.
Now nothing stands in our way.
End phase of turn 5. Couple of regenerations go off. Raz is back to full health. That's nice. No light without darkness. In the distance, whatever strange energy is disrupting the tower that our heroes are rushing towards, storm clouds begin to boil out, darkening the sky. For a moment, we are plunged into darkness. That's going to be interesting because currently all of our opponents are at long range. And that'll do it for turn 5. Getting there. We have 3 turns left. I think we've got this one in the bag. The case just becomes if we can kill enough enemies to complete our oath or not. One other bit of business for the end phase here. I'm going to promote Raz. He gains the Flurry ability, that would have been handy a second ago, and his stats increase slightly. Alright, I'll see you in turn 6. At the beginning of turn 6 here, all I really have to do is kill 2 guys and walk over and claim some treasure. I finally made it through the mud pit in the middle, defeated the Griffin. It's been a busy day. But our adventurers are still in a hurry, remember. The adversaries are going to activate first, as the wolf, predictably, is going to run on over and engage the Khajiit. I think Raz is just going to respond directly, attacking with his blade. I forgot. Never mind. He's going to swap and then do that, as I gave him a bow, foolishly, forgetting how fast wolves were. He's going to swap his items back around, and then he can attack. It'll cost me my movement this turn, but that's okay. Raz attacking the wolf. That's gonna miss, okay. Well, less impressively then, attacking with the offhand. That'll hit for 1 point of damage, which the wolf blocks. Great. I swear, Raz, if you die to a wolf, the Dominion's gonna fall. The bandit here has no qualms about shooting into this melee, as they don't really care which target they hit. So they're going to take aim at Raz and take a shot here. So they're looking for a 4. Which of course they get. That is 3 damage unexpectedly coming out of nowhere against Raz. He blocks 2 and takes 1. They do have the stealth skill. Crap. Okay, so I'm not within 6 inches, so an arrow comes out of nowhere and hits Raz, glancing off, dealing a little bit of damage. And I don't know where it came. The ranger does have to make a sneak test in order to not lose their hidden token on a successful ranged attack. Which she does, annoyingly. The sorceress is going to move on up, get in contact with the master treasure token, but not search it just yet. I will reveal, okay, it's locked. She's going to attempt to discover this hidden character. Ah, good. An intelligence attribute test. I'm good at these. I was fully prepared to fail there, but no. The sorceress does spot the hidden archer. She's going to spend 1 magicka and blast it with lightning. That will succeed, and add a red for 5 damage. There's no way that the ranger can survive that.
If I can just...
And that's going to bring us to the end of a relatively quick turn 6. Do a little bit of regenerating, and now the event phase. Blessings of Arcade, none of our models are wounded. We are going to spawn 1 new creature though. It is a dire wolf. They come bounding out of this side. Alright, that done. I'll see you in turn 7. The familiar is going to run up and support Razum-dar, dealing 2 damage. The wolf blocks none, and the wolf is removed. But that will provoke a reaction from the direwolf, who's going to charge. Since the familiar has no defense, unless I miss with this attack, the familiar will be dispelled. But I dare say the familiar has done its job by this point. Since the sorceress doesn't have lockpicking, she has to attempt to force this chest. I pretty much need a crit to succeed here. She gives it a go, she gives it a kick, then she's going to turn around and engage the wolf. Raz is also going to pile into the wolf. And just for fun, boosting for strength and precision, why not? The 9 but -5 makes that a hit. The direwolf goes down. Easy. I believe that brings me to the end of the turn. Rather short, rather uneventful. Let's see what happens. The end of turn 7, our event phase is Lost Treasure. Another master treasure chest. I'm not going to worry about getting it. The archer was sitting on it. It's exactly 8 inches away. However, that does spawn 3 adversaries. So, with their other treasure stash discovered, the bandit ranger and the bandit warrior are back.
Here we go!
Ready to defend their ill-gotten gains. Additionally, another wolf, use the pouncing one here, spawns on their side of the field. Looking at the state of the board and the scoreboard here, there's no possible way for me to complete the 400 points. That one, again, was a little optimistic. So, even with the 50 or so points on the board, no way, if I killed all 3 of them somehow, no way I can get it. So, not going to worry about that oath, but we're going to move into our final turn here, turn 8, and we'll see how this plays out. For our final turn here, priority has gone back over to the adversaries. I don't want to get bogged down trying to kill any of them. Really what I want to do is get this master treasure chest before the end of the game. So, with that in mind, let's see what happens first, as they have priority. The wolf is the first to activate, and it is going to bind in. This is exactly what I didn't want to happen. It's going to move up and trap the sorceress in melee combat. And manage to hit for 4. Alright, so she's in trouble. Oh, as I have rolled 2 2s, but that one didn't roll in the box. So, she'll block 3, taking 1 point of damage, and being trapped in melee combat. Here's the gamble. We're going to move Razum-dar into base-to-base contact with it. He's going to cut across and end up next to the treasure chest. He's going to search with his second action, which, again, I need that crit on. This is a very locked chest. And he's going to throw a knife at the end of his turn, hopefully freeing up the sorceress to deal with a bandit or 2. Alright, there it is. He draws a master treasure. He's going to draw the Nolzur amulet. Lots of good amulets this game. He will immediately equip that. Razum-dar actually ends his turn within 6 inches, provoking a reaction, just from the warrior here.
I'll carve you into pieces!
Yes, the bandit warrior swings the axe, but Raz ducks out of the way, snatching the treasure as he runs. He's going to take a swing with her sword, boosting, since this is the final turn, she'll spend a point to boost for precision and damage. That's definitely going to hit. We're going to spend the helm to add a yellow for 3 points of damage. The direwolf's armor of yellow, can't stop it, and the direwolf is removed. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter what she does with the rest of her turn. We'll reveal this treasure chest just for shiggles. Hey, it's unlocked. And that's going to do it. As our heroes run off towards the disturbance of the tower in the distance, the sounds of battle coming from both ahead, behind, and all around them. What fate awaits them? Who's to say?
On a completely unrelated note, sound off in the comments below if you have any suggestions for good Yager proxy models. Just in case. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. I'm sorry this one took so long, but as you may be able to tell from my completely grown out haircut new glasses, and sadly empty office, we're moving, so things have been a little bit busy for us. Before I had to disassemble my workbench, I did get some terrain crafting filmed that I would like to share with you guys, so I hope you'll join me next time for that. Either way, see you in another life.